Welcome back to Bottom Deck Achievements, a Hearthstone achievement hunting series. I hope you had a wonderful, lovely holiday, whichever holiday it was, whether it be Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Candle Nights, Festivus, or anything else. And I hope you're having a lovely new year as well, and I truly hope 2022 is a great year for you. This week we're going to kick things off in 2022 with what's becoming one of my favorite videos to do for every set, and that is the 5 duels lists to hopefully win a couple games, but also get some achievements done. And speaking of achievements to get done, I have quite a few to click on this week, so let's get straight to that. I guess a little behind the scenes real quick. I recorded the Christmas video immediately after recording the video from the week before, where I was going over the Bloodseeker one. So while I didn't have any achievements to look at last week, I have quite a few this week, so let's get to checking these out. First up is this Dread Prison Glaive one for Demon Hunter. This is one of the ones that was bugged, I believe. I think it just kind of gave it to me one time while I just playing the card. Kind of, I think I don't know exactly how this one got done actually. I think you were supposed to kill something that had exactly 5 or more health, but at full health. I didn't do that. But it gave me the achievement. I think it added a couple together and just popped for me, so I think it's still glitched. I think all the ones that were glitched and not working properly before are still not working properly, actually, which is pretty unfortunate, as we're going to be talking about a couple today that still technically can't get done. Up next, we'll definitely be talking about some of the Frostwolf Cubs ones, and hey look, I'm close to the second part of this. Cool. That one's progressing nicely, and like I said, we'll talk about that later. Similarly, just Hunter Secrets. A long way to go. There's a lot you have to do for this one. 250. It's kind of rough. It's a lot if you're not playing Hunter full time. Moving on, level 2 is done of the freezing characters as Shaman, and we are most of the way there for part 3. This shouldn't have any problems getting done, even though they nerfed the 3/3 that freezes the board and gets bigger. So I haven't been playing as much Freeze Shaman since then, but that card is still quite good. And I think it's pretty much just an auto-include in most Shaman decks. Even in Wild, the card is seeing a ton of play, so I'm confident that this one will get done. Moving on, we will be talking about Dread Imps today. Looks like I'm about half the way there from step 1 to step 2, so not too bad. And then a bunch of neutrals. Let's see, just level 1 done of this one. Still been laddering with a hand buff Paladin and Wild, so Cariel is pretty much the only hero card I've been playing recently. Moving on, I think, yeah, we are done with this one completely, playing the objective spells. This one is still bugged. This one I think I mentioned being bugged the other day. But this one is one where it's not necessarily that they have to last 3 turns. This one's just popping right when you play them. I think that was the case for steps 2 and 3 as well. So just play out your objectives, and it doesn't even matter if they finish. You'll get there. Moving on, I think I'm done with this one too. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Korak recently. I think he's a great card for duels, as we'll see. I believe he's in several of the decks that I'm going to be talking about. And moving on, I think I have 2 steps of this one done. Yeah. Don't think I'm done with tier 3 yet. Okay. Not too bad. So let's scroll up and see what our percentage is at. We are almost a month into the set, which is about the quarter point, and we're almost at a quarter done. So look at that. That's pretty good. A couple of the other ones are just, especially in the neutral set, are ones that, you know, like this one, Battle Rams. I'm a nice percent done with this one. As well as some of these others that only have 1 step. Once they're done, they'll add a couple percentage points as well. So overall, I'm feeling pretty good about my progression so far. But hopefully you can too. So let's get straight to looking at some of those lists for duels. Okay, before we hop into the 5 lists I've prepared, I just want to do a couple base notes about duels in this set. I think this is the swingiest the format has ever been. They added the Goblins vs. Gnomes set, as Alterac Valley came out, as well as, of course, the Alterac Valley cards. So this is the largest the Duels pool has ever been for a starting deck. They also added quite a few treasures that are pretty disgustingly good. So if you just don't get good selections on your runs, you could be in for a bad time. One of the lists I'm going to talk about, I went 12 wins with. I think it was 12-2. I think I was at 2 losses for it. But 12 wins, it's still, a great achievement. And then the very next run I did with pretty much the same list, I got 1 win. So that's just how it goes sometimes. Treasures are way more important than ever. The pool is, like I said, larger than ever, and I really hope that whenever there's the next standard rotation and they update Duels a little bit, which note that also on the screen it says season ends in 4 weeks, which means we might be getting something of a shakeup, or this could also be projected to when the mini set comes out, and there'll be an update for that. But I'm really hoping that they cut down on the starting card pool for Duels after the standard rotation, because it's very large, and there's a lot more that is not usable than is at this point. Additionally, there's a couple cards of note I want to talk about. I haven't messed around with Grim Totem Bounty Hunter because I didn't craft any, I didn't crack any, because I knew I'd be getting some for free in the rewards track. So I haven't messed around with that yet. I only just got my first copy of it today, but I think it might be a great card to do, in addition to there being an achievement for it. Duels is a format where there's a ton of legendary stuff running around, whether it be like treasure minions. I think those count as legendaries because they have the dragon legendary frame, as well as some of these starting treasures and just general good stuff that you put in your deck. So I think that card might be pretty good in Duels as a general removal tool. Additionally, another card I want to talk about, what I like to do usually is to try to get as many achievements done as I can for legendary cards without crafting those. But there's a bunch of achievements in the set that are tied to the hero cards. And unfortunately, I don't think that they offer the hero cards in any buckets. In fact, I'm pretty sure that they said specifically that they do not. So you're going to have to craft those or open them in packs in order to do those achievements. But I do want to highlight Ivus the Forest Lord, which is a neutral minion. I think I talked about it in the very first episode I did for Alterac Valley. As I just kind of did the whole overview. I have been offered him 3 times. He shows up in the Battle Cries and Combos bucket, and I believe you have to be at least 9 mana to play him to guarantee that he's at the big enough stats to crack the achievement. So just something to keep in mind if you don't have the card. Just run a bunch of duels and just... I don't know how to influence for the Battle Cries and Combos one. Like in the Mage one in the previous set with Antonidas, you could kind of just put a bunch of fire spells into your deck, and eventually you'd be offered the fire bucket and occasionally get Antonidas. I don't quite know how to do that for Battle Cries and Combos because that's pretty generic. But that is probably the best chance to get an achievement done with a legendary card that you don't have. Additionally, a couple lists I'm not going to talk about, but some interactions that I've found are quite good. Currently, an achievement that's not working is for Priest, giving minions attack with the spell Bless. One of the newer treasures that they have in this is to where if you target a minion with a spell, whether it be yours or an opponent's, it casts that spell on its neighbors as well. So before I realized that this achievement was busted, I had some really good runs going with Priest, where I gave a bunch of minions a lot of attack that cast on its neighbors as well with Bless, but unfortunately didn't quite get there. So if you're grinding for that, once they fix that achievement, that's a treasure to look for. It's also just generally a pretty good treasure in general. And additionally, just one little interaction that's of note is for Brasswing. There's an achievement for that to heal a bunch of health with that card, and so you're expected to use its end of turn trigger where it deals 2 damage to all enemies, and then if it honorable kills any of them, you heal 4. Additionally, there's the new card that gives a minion like Divine Shield and Lifesteal for a turn, and maybe +2/+1, I think. So if you give Brasswing Lifesteal and then swing into something, all that lifesteal counts. I have tested that, and that does work like that. So just if you're having trouble getting those honorable kills with that, and you're only healing 4 here, 4 there, just see if you can get that card to stick. Plop that blessing on it, and heal for 11 in one swing. Also, I think technically at the end of the turn, the 2 damage it does to everything else will have lifesteal as well. So just something to think about. I haven't been going too hard on the Paladin stuff because the Cariel achievement is still bugged. But whenever I do play duels, I do throw in a Brass Wing. But yeah, so other than that, that's probably pretty long for the base talk speech. Let's get into the list that I built and want to talk about in detail. First up, surprising absolutely nobody, is Mage. Like I said, there's kind of a drinking game to every time I'm doing a Mage Duels run in one of these videos to take a drink. But this is the one that I hinted at earlier that I got 12 wins with. Like I said, my very next run with it, I got 1 win. So some things about this one. The achievements we're going for are gaining armor with Snowblind Harpy, drawing frost spells with Herald of Lokolar, and potentially casting spells with Iceblood Tower. So we have some big spell synergy in here. I took the Yogg-tastic Tasties one because honestly none of the Mage treasures to start with are that great. And plus Yogg-tastic Tasties is a big spell to hopefully maybe pull with Iceblood Tower. We have some other stuff in there like Clumsy Courier to cast a big spell from your hand for free. But even though we have kind of a focus on frost spells, I threw in some ones of other classes as well. We got Devolving Missiles, which is incredibly important in this format, as well as Wildfire, because you have the Frost Missiles hero power, good old Fireball, and Runed Orb to discover more stuff. So you don't have to go super hard on the frost spells. With as many as you put in to start, your Herald of Lokolar should fetch one should you find it early enough. But yeah, this is a really good feeling list overall. Playing the Ice Shards early to mid game gives your opponent some pressure, some stuff that they feel like they have to deal with. And against some lists, like I had been seeing a lot of Quest Druid that plans to attack with their face a whole bunch. If you can just stick a couple Freezy Boys on the board, it completely shuts strategies like that down. Diablo stuff, Paladin with the Royal Greatsword, there's a lot that freezing can do. I love Build a Snowman in here, especially if you can find any treasure that duplicates spells. Idols of Elune, I think it's called, that randomly repeats a spell you've played this turn. And later in the game, when you're playing the 6 mana, the 9 mana versions of this, it's just disgusting to double up those minions. And with the 6 cost ones, to get 2 copies of the 9 cost spell as well. So that's just a lot of value building up over time. And like I said, with the Frost Shards, Grand Finales in this deck, you can lay down some disgusting turns. On a turn 7, if you can play like 3, or I guess it would be 3, if you had a couple in hand, do your hero power once and play 3 of them. Summoning 4 8/8s on turn 8 is absolutely disgusting and very, very much game winning. So this is the list I've been having the most fun with overall. It's good for these kind of frost spell centric achievements because not many other classes can like super get those done outside of like Shaman, and I guess Warrior has a couple this set. That's weird. But yeah, this is the list I've been running and been doing pretty well with. So there's that. Moving on now to a class that I have much less to say about, mostly just a warning. Really the only achievements we're going for here is mostly the triggering Hunter secrets. Now, Hunter has a starting treasure and hero power that has synergy with secrets, but I found every time I built decks for those, I just got completely run over. And so I found that the best thing to do is kind of stick with the Death Rattle Shell, but just put in like a large secret package with your Cloaked Huntress, Eaglehorn Bow, and a bunch of secrets to start in your deck. You should be offered some more secret synergy, as well as some more Death Rattle synergy, so those 2 are good buckets to take. Other than that, just kind of peeking through the list, I kind of just threw in a couple neutrals here and there. Frantic Hippogriff and Ram Commander, because they both deal with beast stuff. So if you get stuck with some kind of poor choices and find some beast synergy here and there, that could be good for you as well. But overall, like I said, not much to say about this. It's just kind of a standard death rattle list with secrets. But like I said, you gotta proc a lot of secrets to get these achievements done. So yeah, why not give this one a try? This list does okay. Next up we have Druid, and the main achievement that we're focusing on here is summoning the Frostwolf Cubs. I keep wanting to call them pups, but I guess they're cubs. Druid has several cards that do this, but I also threw in a bunch that kind of play with some go-wide strategies. Things like Vibrant Squirrel and Ram Commander are good for kind of building out larger boards that then get buffed with either Sow the Soil or Arbor Up. I threw in Frantic Hippogriff again, just because there's some beast synergy in Druid. And I guess this is the first one I'm talking about where we see Korak the Blood Rager, which, like I said, is just a pretty good overall utility card to throw in there. If you can just resummon it even once, it's great. But yeah, it's kind of a basic list. You pretty much just try to go as wide as you can, as early as you can. And if you can get off to a good enough start, most of the time that's good enough. But like I said, this is a super swingy format, and just sometimes that's not good enough. The hero power of destroying a minion and creating treants is really good for large big beaters that your opponents play, as well as things like, you play your own Vibrant Squirrel and then ping it with your hero power. You now shuffle a bunch of stuff into your deck and get a couple treants. The only bad thing about this is that cards like Heart of the Wild don't play well with treant stuff. Like, you really want to find some beasts to get on the board to buff with that. But most of the time, if you can find even one or two beasts to have going when you play this, even if you have to buff a treant to swing into something, just getting a couple other 1/1s on some beasts is usually good enough. I've had some decent success with this deck. I tend to average probably about 3 wins. I think my best here says 5. I think that was from a list very similar to this. But yeah, it's a pretty fun list, actually. Probably my second favorite to play after the Mage one. So yeah, give this one a shot and summon a bunch of cubs. Next up we have Rogue, which is kind of a hybrid Death Rattle Burgle list. The main one that we're looking at to get done here is having minions die under the effect of Snowfall Graveyard. Now, there is a good strategy for this in Duels. If you have exactly 2 copies of Kobold Illusionist, and those are the only 2 Death Rattle minions in your hand, playing one and then a Spammy Arcanist will create a pseudo-infinite loop until you reach the Spammy Arcanist limit, as it keeps pulling out more copies of Kobold Illusionist. But that's a really specific setup, and while it is efficient when you can get it to work, why not play some Duels instead? Some additional neutral stuff that we threw in here for achievements is Gangster, which is a pretty short achievement if you can get it done, just because there's some stealth synergy in Rogue, as well as, once again, Korak. And I usually don't run the Humongous Owl, but I threw it in when doing this one just to kind of test it. It's really bad. I kind of missed the boat on that one before they nerfed all the Warlock stuff, which is unfortunate. Also unfortunate is that Snowfall Graveyard isn't super great. Now, it does trigger if you have Snowfall Graveyard out and play Sketchy Information, and it triggers the Death Rattle. That does trigger twice. I found a Ticketmaster under the influence of that, and it immediately shuffled 6 into my deck, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, also I threw in Double Agent, because as we have the Burgley stuff, sometimes just getting 2 3/3s for 3 mana is really good. If Maestro Rogue isn't your thing in Standard, why not try this out in Duels? Overall, this list can be quite good. If you find the Sticky Fingers treasure and some other kind of Burgle cards along the way, you're in for a treat as you get some good cheap stuff, as well as the starting treasure of the Nerubian Peddler. Heck, even just throwing that out and using your hero power once gives you a free 1-drop to throw out. This list is fun. I think I stopped the run to retire it after recording footage for this at 3, but I think I was at 3-0 in a recent run with this, as I just had to move on to something else. So this list can get work done, but like I said, just with the sheer swinginess of this, I've had a couple runs with this that have done very, very poorly. So use at your own risk, but hey, at least there's a couple neutral ones that we can get done thrown in there. And finally, we have Warlock, which I think I said that Druid earlier was my second favorite to play after Mage. That was a lie, because Warlock is actually my second favorite. There's a couple things we have going on. The first being a discard package with a couple of the cards and the starting treasure Killbox that have synergy with discard. That 1 mana hero power is just so good. And then we have a small Soul Fragment package as well, with a Spirit Jailer, Soul Shear, and I think, yeah, Shadow Blight Scholar, I believe is the card name. All those 3 things kind of rolled together let you kind of do your things for the achievement stuff, which is Seeds of Destruction, because I don't have the Tamsin Hero card, which shuffles the Demon Rifts into your deck, which summon 3/3s when drawn, as well as sacrificing minions to the Desecrated Graveyard. Now, unlike the Snowfall Graveyard for Rogue, the Desecrated Graveyard feels really cool to play. There's some neat interactions with just generally, if you drop like a Spirit Jailer or get something small on the board, even just laying down a naked Bone Web egg, that dies, you get the bonus for it dying if it has one. And then you get a 4/4 at the end of your turn, which is pretty sweet value. Especially like mid-game, if Korak is like your only minion out there, just throwing down your graveyard and tapping your hero power to like just do something else and draw a card is very powerful, because you'll get Korak back plus a 4/4. Some good stuff. Full Blown Evil is a very good card in this deck. It's a very good control tool. Even just playing it on turn 3 just to clear out like 2 things is worth it. This card feels really good in duels, especially like on turns like 6 or 9 where you can play it multiple times if you need to. It's effectively a board clear, a one-sided board clear, and that's really good. Yeah, overall this list is just a lot of fun. There's some other stuff in here. There's Hollow Abomination, which gets value more often than you'd think. I haven't done the achievement for the killing a legendary minion with this guy yet, because I think it's still technically broken. The only one I think that you would guaranteed get it off of would be like Blood Mage Stalnos. But with against some token synergies, like I had a person who played either Wicked Shipment or Imp Swarm or something, where they had a bunch of 1/1s, and I just dropped Hollow Abomination, cleared their board, and it gained 4 attack. It was it felt really good. Killmox is just great for late game heal, which you do need in this deck. And don't take any treasures that have to do with drawing cards. You don't need it. You will draw through your entire deck most games. But yeah, this list is just a lot of fun. I haven't had like a super deep run with it yet, but most of mine tend to average 3 or 4 wins usually. It gets there most of the time, and pulling a bunch of free 3/3s from your deck feels really good. Unlike the Ticketmaster for Rogue, where you have to set it up and have it die, this is just a 2-mana play where just eventually you'll get the value. Card might be really bad and constructed, but in duels, it's quite good, actually, I found. But yeah, there we go. Those are my 5. So it's kind of hard to know exactly how to get out of a video like this. Usually I have some other achievement I need to click on and claim, but not today. I've just kind of been sitting here on the title screen thinking of how to get out of here. So I guess I'll just end by saying thank you so much for watching this video. Hope some of these duels lists work out for you. And if you have any other things you've been doing in duels for achievement hunting, please feel free to leave those in a comment below, as well as any achievements that you'd like to see covered in a future video. We're probably, like I said, at about the 1/4 of the way through this set, so we should be seeing the mini set in probably a little over a month, somewhere between like a month to a month and a half. So we'll have a brand new set of achievements to look at for that. But overall, just keep chugging at it, and you'll get there. I believe in you. Also hope that they fix some of those bugged achievements. But yeah, if you like the video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Both of those things would help me out a ton. And also follow me on Twitter and Twitch. I'm at HeyTallman at both places. I just picked up Hollow Knight and Dark Souls 3 in the Steam sale, so I should be streaming one and or both of those hopefully sometime soon. So should be fun. Follow me on Twitch. I'd love to see you there. And yeah, that's about it for me today. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a great day. May the card you need the most never be at the bottom of your deck.